An engineer died and went to hell. The devil greeted him and showed him his spot. Soon the engineer started sweating and he thought to himself, "Whew, it's hot down here." He scattered around and found an old air conditioning unit, and soon there was a cool breeze throughout hell. Then he picked up his phone and saw that there was no internet or cell service. So he found an antenna, and soon he had fixed internet, cell service, and several other things down in hell. A week later, God came down to check on things, and when he saw everything functioning well, he said, "What's going on?" The devil appeared and said, "I know, it's unbelievable. We have an engineer down here and he's fixed everything." God said, "How can that be? All engineers go to heaven. It's in their contracts. If you don't give him back, I'll sue you." The devil looked around, smiled, and said, "Good luck finding a lawyer. Welcome to Shave&Butcher. It's been a while, but we're back." So I've been shaving almost exclusively lately with Mitchell's wool fat. This is what it looks like in the porcelain container, and that is the soap. Now I have the old formula, which is animal tallow and lanolin and several other things. They have a new formulation, so if you buy a soap today, you get it with palm oil, tallow weight, whatever it's called, but palm oil instead of animal fat. It still has the lanolin in it. So I thought I'd better try out the new formula, and why not make a comparison between the two. So here's the new soap, fresh in today from shavingroom.se in Sweden. If you're Swedish, it's a very good little place with definitely the biggest collection of soaps in Sweden, run by enthusiasts, and yeah, it's great. So why not support them? So let's lather up and see how we do. So I haven't tried this new formulation before. I bought a couple of packs of the old formula when they changed the recipe, but you know, it can be traditional, but you can also try new things. So I have two brushes with the same knot, 24mm Magart's synthetic in handles, turned by one and only Matti Lindholm. So I'll start with this one, which I like to call two balls fitting, because I have two balls, and God, this is the dad humor YouTube channel, isn't it? So lathering this up, and I'll probably load more than I need to, because I'm only going to use it on half the face. You need to load quite heavily, because you get a flimsy, whimsical sort of foam when you load. Now I have a brush that I squeezed out the water out of very, very carefully, and that gives you less foam and more soap. So is that going to be enough for one face, one half of the face? Probably. So that is the new one. No, the old one, the two ball brush. This is the, I don't know what this looks like. I don't have a container for this, so I'm going to hold it in my hand, and I'm actually going to load down here because it's slightly more hygienic, a little bit messy, a little bit less messy for my wife to clean up. It's a joke, because I clean this bathroom. It's my job. I make most of the mess. Fair enough. I also, let's not get into that. We share the chores. There is a certain divide. For example, my wife doesn't fill up the car with petrol. I do that. She's never done that, I think, or maybe once in 30 years. So she would say, she drives a bit more than usual, she would say on a Sunday, oh, you gotta fill up the car. And of course, I do it in order for her not to experience the car exploding, which I think is her big fear. She'll be thrilled to know I'm talking about her. Okay, 2 bowls, the old version. So let's see how we do. Quite interesting, actually. I don't often find new soap formulations particularly interesting, because you have artisans who make exceptionally good products and then they change the formula, they try something new out, and it's equally amazing or even better. I typically can't tell the difference. And since I can't tell the difference, I can't make an intelligent verdict on whether it's good or bad. But this is interesting, especially since I like Mitchell's Wool Fat quite a bit. It's one of the most traditional soaps out there. It's been around since, what is it, 1894? So-called original formula. It's not quite true, because obviously there are some stuff that weren't around in 1894. So I've got the soap applied. Now I'm adding a little bit of water at the time, and I'm trying to build something up. I'm not used to doing just half the face, so we'll see how this goes. But this is the old formula. Easy to add, a little bit too much water every time you dip the tip of the brush. But this is obviously behaving the same way it usually does. And fine, I may have loaded heavily, but this thing, even if you don't load super heavy, it produces such an immense amount of lather. Here I am, not super dense and low structure like a lot of modern soaps, but a good creamy lather in loads. Sometimes I mess up the lather. Sometimes it gets foamy because I've added too much water too quickly. But that's part of the charm with Mitchell's Wool Fat. You actually do have to concentrate just a little bit to get it right. So where are we? Starting to get there. Way too much soap. So I think I loaded for the whole face. So it's gonna take a while. The lathering portion of this video is going to be very long, because when I'm done, I've only done half the face. Oops. So this is good for several shaves. Looks good. Sorry to have the tap running. Looks good, and when you think you've had enough water, you need to add a little bit more, but just a little bit at the time, so that you manage to work it in properly. Water plus soap plus agitation equals the lather. I could do with another coating, but let's leave it at that, at least for the time being. Okay, so new formula, it's gone dry. So adding water, see what happens. Is there going to be just foam? Is there going to be enough lather? Looking scary. I probably should have timed the loading so to make sure that I had an equal amount of soap, but I didn't because I was talking to you. So you can watch this and see if and how it dissipates. It's crazy warm here. Crazy warm in Sweden means 25 degrees Celsius, which is degrees Fahrenheit. What is it? 70? Maybe? Anyway, it's as pretty much as warm as it gets in Sweden. And my bathroom is more warm than other places, so I'm sweating ferociously. That's the point I'm trying to make. I'm sweating all day. I played golf, I mowed the lawn, I've done sweaty things today. I took a shower and I'm still sweating. Okay, let's concentrate. See how this turns out. It feels similar. Still a few bubbles in it. So we need more agitation. You got to beat out the air from the lather to get it to. Also, this is one of the better tasting soaps out there. Seriously, it does hardly taste anything, which is a good thing in lathering terms, because if you get too much in the mouth, which you do if you have a lot of lather and you're jabbering all the time, it's nice if it's not painfully distasteful. Keeping up reasonably well. It's drying out, which it does if you leave it. But generally, I don't really notice a difference. I'm adding even more water to see how much the new formula can handle. I've got to do a recoat on this side because this is taking a lot of time. A few bubbles, but nothing much. Very, very similar lather, in my opinion. Where is it? Yeah, nice and peaky. Looking good. To be honest, I don't really notice a difference, which is a good thing, isn't it? So I wonder if I can still shave with this stuff. I probably can. I brought out the wet Sexter blade. I haven't used this in a while. There's a blade in it. It's been in there for a long time. I don't know how many shaves I've got on it, because the memory isn't terrific. But you easily get, or I usually get, 15, 20 shaves out of a blade. And it's slick enough. Let's do the other side. Now with the wick and the Kismet blade that I have in it, you don't even need soap. I've shaved with only water. I think I did a video on that. With only water, and it works just fine. So this is sweat. Those bubbles are sweat coming out of the skin. Holds up, I think, in a similar way as the old soap formulation. Slick enough, slippery enough. God, this blade is good. What did you think about the joke? Slightly longer than usual. It's an old joke. Maybe you've heard it before. I'm going to tell it to my lawyer friends, and they will enjoy it quite a bit because, you know, they like being badasses, going to hell. Okay, so first pass down, very similar experience, old formulation. So just putting on a coating. For Passo Due, which is homemade Italian for the second pass. Dinner tonight is seafood. I have both the kids here and the wife, she's always here. Bit of blood. I'm not treating the Kismet. Hang on. Ja. Rakning. Ja. Quite a bit of blood. Not treating it with enough respect. So these weepers, and they're weepers, not cuts, simply is a product of poor handling. There's nothing wrong with the blade, nothing wrong with the lather. It's just I forgot what a treacherous mistress the wick and the Kismets are for your average wet shaver. Okay, very good. New formulation on the right side of the face. Looks, feels, behaves very similar to the old one. We tried Mitchell's Wolfat. What do you think of it? Huh? It's just hopeless to shave when you sweat. But oh, look at that. Jeez. Jeez Marie. It's not very attractive. Might actually be a bit of a cut. I didn't feel it though. But if it bleeds like that, it's usually a bit more than just a weeper. You really have to be extremely careful, or there will be blood. I'm going to use an alum on this one, so I'll do cold water. Yeah, judging by how much blood there is on the different parts of the face, you'd imagine this is better. I don't think it's the soap. Because that would just be incredible. Oh, yeah, a little bit of pain there in the worst cuts. I've been shaving quite a bit with safety razors, and then it's easy to get sloppy because you don't cut yourself with those. Hence the name, right? But okay, so shaving feeling, very similar. Building the lather, very similar. Very slick, super close, a bit close to the blood in a few places. And post-shave feeling, I don't know. I think it's going to be similar. Post-shave experience with Mitchell's wool fat isn't all that amazing because there's nothing much in it for post-shave. Lanolin maybe, but it's not the same kind of pampering soap that you get in modern artisan soaps. Oh, this hurts. It hurts all over. I've gotten quite a bit of sun, so that could have something to do with it, but wow, we needed alum, that's for sure. Yeah, so to report on post-shave, we would have to wait half an hour. I'm pretty sure it's not going to be a big difference because for me, post-shave has mostly to do with what the skin is like for the day. What if you're hydrated? I'm not. I'm dry. I've been sweating all day. Cheers. To the extent that I tried to go to, yeah, let's not go in there, get in there. There's not a lot of moisture in my body. Okay, alum's worked. Oh. Alum does do marvels. Marvels? If you had a little bit of a rough shave, it really helps you put the skin back in operation. Thayer's Witch Hazel, which I've also been using almost exclusively. It's the good stuff. It's a tonic. I have a scentless one. I like the ones with scent as well. Very good. So, old and new. At first glance, I can't tell the difference. They behave very, very similarly. They have this, both of them have the typical features of Mitchell's wool fat, that if you have just a little bit of water in it, it becomes foamy, and you really have to work it in several coatings and mix a little bit of water in, agitation, and slowly build the lather. Same thing with the old one and the new one. So at first glance, you may as well purchase the new one. So don't be afraid to do that. If you have the old one, it's nice because it's traditional and it's from 1894, sort of. But the new one works just well. I'll be using the new one and the old one, both, but do the whole face with one soap because it's a little bit less complicated, and we'll see. Maybe I have another opinion in a week or so. You'll find out if you follow Shave&Butcher. You may even want to subscribe and like the video and tell your friends, or, screw it. See you later, alligators, and stay sharp.